All right. Good morning. Welcome to Surviving the Diagnosis. It's happened to all of us. I'm Sandy Concar, founder of caregiversanity.com, along with Peggy Mangan. Hi, Peggy.
Good morning, Sandy, and everyone out there watching us.
Today, we're kind of still just coming off of returning from our experience at the National Women Survivors Convention out in Nashville a couple of weeks ago. And we'd like to, it kind of really tied into this month's topic, which is basically the third P of diagnosis, which is post-diagnosis. And part of that is, what do you do? How do you put your life back together when you are told, hey, we're done, go home and live your life? Okay, one second, I've got a little technical. Take away, Peggy, while I play with the technical side of it.
Sure, I'll be glad to take it away. Yeah, we found that among all the survivors and people that are actively in treatment, that there was a common theme among everybody, several common themes. One of them was, okay, it's over. They told me to go home. Now what do I do with my life? And several other themes, such as where did all my friends go? We'll talk about that in depth another time. Yeah, just let's see. Are you back on?
I am back on. Sorry about that. Just to let everybody know, we have a link over on our Facebook page at Surviving the Diagnosis. And what I'd really like, what I do is I embed our show. So you can go over to facebook.com/surviving the diagnosis and watch the live show there if you're not on Google Hangouts or you're not on our website at survivingthediagnosis.com. So, and when I do that, it just automatically starts playing. So I apologize. It's happened several times. So that's my little tech spafu. So, but
I don't mind at all. I took it away and then I got stummed up. So
okay.
I'm glad you came back.
Okay. All right. Well, it's like Peggy was saying. It's when you get home. What do you do? How do you start with your life? They say, well, now you can start your life, get back to normal. In any diagnosis, and I have been a survivor of many diagnoses, whether I've been the one that's been diagnosed or family members or friends have been diagnosed. And I personally do not feel that after each experience that you return to your normal. You return to a different life because you have been affected by this diagnosis, and you're a different person. You have different perspectives. You, in a sense, you connect with the moment instead of, it kind of slows you down, and it slows you down in a good way, the diagnosis.
Yes, it does. I remember just looking at the trees as I was coming home from Michigan State, or University of Michigan, where I got my treatment, and just looking at the trees, and almost, it was like a 3-hour drive, and my husband said finally after 2 hours, why aren't you talking? I said, I'm just looking. It's so wonderful to be outside and looking.
Right.
Although we were in the car, but in a hospital you don't see much nature.
Right. And you begin to appreciate the little things that would have just flitted by you otherwise. So if you can just take a breath, just breathe, just tune into your breathing. Because when you're stressed out, your breathing is very shallow. Sometimes you actually stop breathing. You hold your breath.
Yeah.
And that can really bring down your energy. And you need your energy for this new journey because that's exactly what it is. You're starting out new. It's kind of like being reborn in a sense because you are going to be experiencing life in a completely different way. And whether that life is forever, how long it is, that it's going to be new. And if you can change your mindset to this is all new and some things are going to be familiar and some things are not, you'll do just fine going into start step. Um, so breath is very important. Taking the time and noticing nature, noticing your children, your husband, your wife, your spouse, your partner, whomever, just noticing other people. I know when Keith had his accident, I was so taken with complete strangers that would contact us and just ask, how's Keith doing? These were people Keith didn't even know, but in some fashion, he touched their lives during his post-accident and rehab. So, you also will be connected to new friends and new circles of people because, well, they've most likely lived through it with you in some way, or they've gone through their own journey similar to yours. So you can connect on that level. There was another topic that was brought up at the convention when we were speaking to people who visited our booth, which I want to shout out and say thank you for everybody who visited our booth. It was great meeting you and talking with you. But one of, I guess, the heartfelt ones, Peggy, was mainly, where did my friends go?
Yeah,
That was a big one, wasn't it?
yeah. I mentioned that while you were working on that project you were
Okay.
just on,
Okay.
and I told them we'd get more into that um, because yes, it's a huge issue in that you it just they dissolve into the background, and I don't know whether they're afraid to uh, talk to you about it or ask you about it or upset you. But I will tell you, when I was going through all this, it was never upsetting when someone reached out to me and would talk to me because I almost felt like the elephant in the room a lot of times. Like, well, what do I say here with my bald head? What do I do? And people would just, kind of fade away for a while. Um, they
Yeah.
mostly come back at the end, mostly do.
Yeah. Well, I know that I'll give you an example. There was very dear friends of ours, and they've known Keith since, he was born. We went to school with them, so we've known him for quite some time. And I remember that we hadn't seen them uh, right away after Keith's accident. So we had some time uh, for ourselves to, I'll say, adjust in some way to the situation, our new lives. And when I saw them, I mean, I was already into with, I've been studying kinesiology and energy work for probably 10, 15 years. But at this time, I wasn't familiar with emotional freedom techniques, the tapping technique. And um, at the time of Keith's accident. Now, when we met up with our friends, I'd already been introduced and been working on some things, and even in the energy work of kinesiology, I had worked on some things. So my perspective changed a bit in, uh, I guess, the sadness and the anger of it all. And when we met up with them, uh, they were approaching us as they were going to be consoling us. And the tables turned really because we weren't in that dark space. We had already moved up and out of it. And I remember my friend saying that, wow, here I thought I would be comforting you, and you're lifting me up. And she was taken aback by that. So um, it's I guess opening conversation. If you're not sure what to say, ask. What can I say? What can I do? Is there anything you need from me? Or what do you need that I could possibly help you with? That way, if that way it opens up the conversation, which what we're all about here is opening up that conversation, and
Right.
then there you kind of lose that uneasiness. Also, I would suggest that if something is said and it's not appropriate or it's kind of hurt you, don't hold on to it. Say, that just doesn't work for me anymore, or I'd rather you didn't do that. Be honest, because that's the only way the other person is going to know what you need. So it's all about you. It's what do you need to heal and come through this process, this new journey that you're on to heal. Because if you start pushing things down, then you're just going to be creating more, uh, unrest within yourself, and you don't want to do that. That's something that we're
No,
trying we're
no.
trying to promote, to release, is that, and to open the communication, um, and in a way, excuse me, putting it that you're not criticizing. It's, this is how I feel. I no longer like this, or I no longer will react like this. And I would like to say that on both sides, you were used to how this person was before the diagnosis or the accident. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Got a frog in my throat. You knew that person before the accident. That person is not the same any longer. Um, so their reactions could quite possibly be different than what they were before. And just both sides of this situation, you'll want to understand that, wow, who is that person and why aren't they reacting the way they used to? It's just because this whole thing has changed their perspective in some fashion. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's another conversation that can open it up, is how do you feel about this?
Well, that is a good start. I was about to say, just simply ask them how they're doing. I mean, that was just the easiest for both, I found. How are you doing? How are you handling all this? And let the person vent. They're waiting to vent. They are waiting to be able to talk because it's a lonely place. It is truly a lonely place to be diagnosed, and it just seems nobody wants to talk about it. And I would definitely introduce it the best I could, and I could see the relief in their eyes. I could see them really truly get relief when I broke the ice. Uh,
Hmm.
Sometimes it was too uncomfortable for me, but I could see relief, and we both felt better. And yeah, just how are you doing works miracles in that
Hmm.
situation.
Well, the other thing too is, sometimes when you say you're on my side of the diagnosis as a caregiver or a friend, um, you're afraid of how you're going to react. I mean, if you see your friend, your family member, incapacitated, or tubes, or, like you say, Peggy, a bald head, I mean, you might react and just lose it. And I
Mhm.
think maybe a lot of people will stay away because they don't know how to handle it. And this is one thing that we do, that we can help you with. If you have that feeling like, I don't know what to say, or I'm afraid I'm going to lose it, I'm not going to be strong for them.
You
Um,
know what? The patient would rather you lose it and give you a big hug, and you can lose it together.
Mm-hmm.
Because rather than have you go away, um, a lot of times visitors that come when I was getting all the testing in the hospital and blood transfusions, and I would hear them outside the door talking to my daughters and my husband,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the worst.
Yeah,
The
it's like, hello,
patient
I'm
is
in this
still
room.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here in this bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You want
you
questions? Ask me.
exactly. But
Hmm.
yeah, getting home and getting back into your life's milieu is just an amazing feeling. Although getting back into what you did before, like Sandy said, you're a different person.
Hmm.
You see life differently. And I did not go back into nursing. I had papers already in Virginia, and I decided, no, I'm going to give back and form Joy After Cancer and try to help other cancer patients get through what I'm trying to get through. And we could probably do it together, is what I thought, because you certainly need support and help.
Hmm. And that's where what we do. Peggy does matrix reimprinting and with EFT, and I do what I call transformational tapping. It's modeled after EFT because I incorporate other modalities and techniques. So um, it helps with that roller coaster of emotions because everything that we're talking about today has to do with some form of an emotion, whether I'm scared, fearful, uh, angry, I feel isolated. All those emotions can be, uh, the intensity of those can be brought down through the work that Peggy and I do. And we're going to do a little bit of tapping in a few minutes. So you can follow along. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A and we will answer them as we can. And if there's a specific topic, a specific emotion that you're feeling right now, share that. And we'd be happy to address that when we do the tapping exercise. But and that's what we come here every Monday for, is to help you. It's all about you, whether you're the patient, the caregiver, professional caregivers, even family members, friends. We're all affected somehow by this diagnosis. Whether it's a migraine, whether it's cancer, whether it's celiac disease, whether it's an auto accident, a shooting, it's a diagnosis. You're going through emotions that are so unfamiliar to you that you can lose grip with what's actually going on around you. Um,
Right?
but I'd like to mention that our show today is being sponsored by Moira Hutchison. And I'm going to do a screen share because I'd really like to show you her website here. And she is a hypno-chemo practitioner, and she's up in Canada, but she does do sessions over Skype and Hangouts. So, um, and if you'd like to go to that website, you can through survivingthediagnosis.com. And she believes in our message, and so her uh, banner is about three-quarters of the way down the page, and you can click on it. It'll take you right to this website so that you can check out Moira. And we very much appreciate her and others who support and believe in our message.
Absolutely. Sandy,
Yeah.
how can we somehow let the folks go in and get Moira's show with us? Or how can we do something like that to show them her, yeah, her show with us, where she
Oh,
talks about
yeah.
what she does?
Sure. Yeah. They can go to survivingthediagnosis.com/Moira. And that's M as in Mary, O as in Oscar, I is in India, and A as in Apple, Moira. So survivingthediagnosis.com/Moira. And that tells you all about her, and also the replay of the show that we had with her in March is on there. So
It's an awesome show, guys. It's very awesome.
yeah. And also,
Yeah.
we also have a membership site where you can join. It's $27 a month. There isn't any contract. And what we do is we meet once a month and as a small, intimate group, and we really get into more of bringing down your issue, the intensity around your issues, and discussing what's going on in your lives. And also all the replays to all our shows. We're almost on our year anniversary, and those are in the membership as well. And on the Facebook page, Surviving the Diagnosis over on Facebook, we have, like today's show is running right now live, and it will be up for replay until next Monday morning, excuse me, when I put in the new link to Monday's show. And
Right.
Monday is going to be another open discussion. We're just going to continue the discussion on how to move forward in your life after diagnosis and after treatment. When it's all quote unquote over, how do you put your next foot forward? And we would love to have you contact us, hello at Surviving the Diagnosis, if you'd like to join in the discussion. We're just chatting here, and we're here to help you and support you. So feel free to go over to survivingthediagnosis.com. And when you register for the show reminders, and again, you only receive one show reminder, and that's Monday morning. You will have an option to click on that I want to be on the show, and that will put you on the panel, just like Peggy and I are right at the bottom here. You'll show up, and if you want to keep your anonymity, that is perfectly fine. You don't have to turn on your camera. We can hear you, but you don't have to turn on your camera. And if that isn't what you want to do, you can always watch us live over at the Facebook page or on Surviving the Diagnosis, and just type in your questions. So
Right. Easy.
There's
Several ways to do it.
Yeah, there's many ways to reach out to us, connect with us, get your questions answered, and also do some tapping. So is there anything specific you want to tap on today, Peggy, that through our conversations with our visitors at the booth, maybe there's something that you remember specifically that was something that they wanted to address?
Sure, I can always come up with something, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
I so love this work, people. It just works so well with stress, anxiety, and fear of recurrence, as well as now what am I going to do with my life? And Sandy and I work together personally, clearing our stuff, and that's what we'd like to do for you. You would be amazed at the effectiveness of these techniques. So that said, I will also add that you are listening to Surviving the Diagnosis. It's happened to all of us. And Sandy Conkar is a co-host, and I am as well, Peggy Mangan. So we are always open to meet people that need us. Reach out to us in several ways, and that's enough said. Yeah, sure, I would like to possibly, let's see. Okay, when I was deciding to start my business, I wasn't sure if that's what I should do or if I should go back into nursing. And that was a dilemma for a while. So I don't want to say it like this, but believe me, folks, nurses make a lot more than Sandy and I do at the show right now. But we're not in it for the money, and that's the bottom line with us. We want to help people. So but it was a little strained for me to try to come to that conclusion because yeah, the money was needed because my income was nil, and so John picked up the whole work load. So I worried about that for a while, and so around that, let's see, it was pretty stressful for a while. I think I was around a 10, what to do, um, and I don't know. I have several places in my body that's saying, "Hey, that was a problem for us." So I think my stomach is telling me, yeah, we were pretty ambivalent at that time, and ambivalence always causes stress and anxiety. So I think the ambivalence was in my stomach and is now when I think about having to make those decisions not to go back to my profession uh, and work in a hospital.
So when you think of, well, when you think about that time that you were having to make that choice, when you just think about it today, um, what 0 to 10 would that be today?
Yeah, okay. That's kind of hard because here I sit doing my life's work, my life's purpose,
Mhm.
and I know that right now. And
Okay,
like
so
I just said, money isn't everything.
so when you are unable to reach that point or touch what that feeling is or that intensity is, what I want to suggest is that you do a breathing exercise. Okay, so
Okay.
just taking a real deep breath through your nose, hold your breath for a second or two, and then release. Okay, and then now taking another deep breath, hold it for a second or two, and when you release it, say your name silently to yourself.
Hmm. Okay.
And then when you breathe in one more time, hold it a second or two, and on this exhale, just relax. Say relax to yourself.
Oh, does that feel good? That
Mhm.
that does relax you.
What we're doing is we're
Yeah.
bringing your attention into you, okay? Because your head's all over the place at the moment. Your mind is all over the place. So it brings you in. So now close your eyes again, take in a breath, just breathe normally, and then do our body scan. And what that means is just from the top of your head and just go through your body, scan it, pick up the teeniest, tiniest little feelings, whether they're twinges or feelings of pain or tightness or heaviness, whatever it might be, even voids. Even voids are important to recognize.
What is important to recognize that you just mentioned? Voice?
Void, VOID, voids.
Void. Okay. Void.
Mhm.
Well, I am getting some sensations, actually.
Okay.
Not so much of a swirl in my stomach as, well, this could have several meanings. Over in my upper left quadrant of my abdomen, which would be right where my spleen is.
Ah, okay.
And folks, if you don't know that lymphoma is all about the spleen and the lymph nodes. It's a disease of the lymph nodes and the spleen. And mine was severely affected by the lymphoma. So, yep, that's where I'm feeling it.
Okay. And then where's the other? You said you had a couple of different feelings.
Well, I actually meant that this could be interpreted as so many different ways, but
Okay.
um, I'm thinking it's just a reminder of what my body went through now.
Okay, and
So
what
that
would
was a good reminder because it brings me right to the fact that, yeah, the conflict was about a 10,
okay.
9. I'll say a 9.
Okay. And how does this area feel in your body right now on a 0 to 10?
Uh, 8.
Okay. All righty. And if you could put an emotion to that area, what would that emotion be?
Fear.
Okay. And this is all around the the main topic that we're talking about of really not knowing whether to return to your career or start anew. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you are right. I
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So when you think of that overall decision making between career, returning to your career, previous career, or starting new, um, what what is your feeling around that right now? When you think of
Um,
that, when you were in that, when you were in that space of having to make that decision, when you think of it today, what is
yeah,
your intensity today around that?
okay. Yeah, I was pretty anxious about it simply because, um, and I think I'm understanding why this pain all of a sudden developed in my upper left quadrant is my spleen was telling me uh, you're going to go back into a whole lot of stress again because nursing is tremendously stressful and you tend to ignore your own needs. And for me to get better and to get healthy, I needed to focus on my needs. But on the other hand, I was severely conflicted with the money coming into the home.
Hmm. Okay,
And
so when you think about the conflict of just the conflict of needing the money, um, on a 0 to 10 today, when you think of that conflict that was going on, what is that, a 0 to 10 right now,
yep,
thinking about it?
8.
Okay. And what about realizing the the stress that you would be under if you return to that career?
That's an 8 as well.
Okay. What about the addressing your needs, the need to address your needs?
That was pretty high because of the conflict,
Hmm.
10.
Okay.
And did I have the right to not get out there and help provide what we needed at the time?
Uh-huh.
Uh, and on the other hand, should I think of myself and try to heal my body? Although I had been through the king of treatments, a bone marrow transplant, I knew, I needed to do something for myself too.
Hmm. And
So,
then you had well, we pretty much covered that because ignoring your own needs, or is that separate? You mentioned that separately, so ignoring your own needs, the intensity around thinking of that you might have to, if you to return to the career, you may have to ignore your own needs.
yeah, 10.
Okay, okay, all righty. And so, what I like to do is to muscle test and to see what is your priority today for the tapping. This is not something that is needed to do, but I'm feeling that I need to do that as a demonstration today. So,
Well, I
um,
just want to tell people that this is totally awesome what Sandy does. This is kinesiology,
yeah.
and she can get yes or no out of my body before it comes out of my mouth. So my energy, and it's right spot on. So you're in for a treat.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just first ask your permission if I may step into your energy.
Yes, you may.
All right, thank you. And so I'm going to ask for a yes. Show me a no. Okay. So it's just my way of testing. And so I'm going to ask of the priority for the tapping for today. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? And it's 4. And the 4 was my needs. Did I have the right to think of myself? So that's what comes up out of the 4 things that were holding up that decision making of career or starting new.
I,
So
I,
how does that feel within you? What you're feeling consciously? What do you are we on the same page with that or?
oh yes, we definitely are. That was a
Okay.
huge conflict.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll just start on the karate chop, and I want to mention that anyone that received the reminder of today's show, there is a link to the tapping diagram, so you can follow along with that. You can pull that up, and if you didn't receive that, feel free to sign up for reminders, and you'll get those every Monday morning as well, and they're downloadable as well for to have forever. And also, I will you know, demonstrate as we go along. Okay, so I'm
And I
gonna,
will too.
okay. And then Peggy's just gonna repeat after me. Anything that I say that does not uh, ring true for you, Peggy, you want to step in and make the correction because it's all about your healing. And also for the audience to uh, follow along, say what we're saying, but write down what your issue is and put your 0 to 10 to it. See where it resides, that intensity resides in your body, and then we'll begin tapping.
All right.
Okay. So on the karate chop, even though
Even though
we really need the money,
we really need the money,
do I really have the right
do I really have the right
to think of myself
to think of myself?
and start anew?
Didn't hear that.
And start anew.
And start anew.
I deeply and profoundly
I deeply and profoundly
accept who I am,
accept who I am,
even though
even though
we need the money.
we needed the money.
It'd be easier to go back to nursing
It would be easier to go back to nursing
because I definitely have a paycheck.
because I definitely have a paycheck.
But do I really deserve
Do I really deserve?
to get sick again?
I'm sorry, I can't hear that. Say it again.
To get sick again
To get sick again
and stay in that career?
and stay in that career.
I deeply and profoundly
I deeply and profoundly
accept who I am.
accept who I am.
Even though we need the money,
Even though we need the money,
do I really have the right to think of just myself?
do I really have the right to think of just myself?
I deeply and profoundly
I deeply and profoundly
accept my decision.
accept my decision.
On the eyebrow point, do I really have the right
Do I really have the right
to think of myself?
to think of myself?
On the side of the eye, do I really have the right
Do I really have the right
to put myself first?
to put myself first?
Under the eye, do I really have the right
Do I really have the right
to stay healthy?
to stay healthy?
Do I really have the right
Do I really have the right
To think of myself first.
To think of myself first.
Do I really have the right
Do I really have the right
to think of myself first?
to think of myself first?
On the collarbone point, do I really have the right
Do I really have the right
to take care of myself first?
to take care of myself first?
Under the arm, do I really have the right
Do I really have the right
to take care of myself first?
to take care of myself first?
Top of the head, do I really have the right to take
Do I
care of?
do I really have the right to take care of myself first?
Okay, I'm taking a really deep breath. And then release it. And so when you make that statement, do I really have the right to think of myself first? How does that feel right now?
There's an anxiety around it.
Okay.
What was I? It's still a 10 if it wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, you were a
Or,
10. Yeah.
okay,
So
yeah.
let me ask this. State the statement, do I really have the right to take care of myself first?
Do I really have the right to take care of myself first? Anxiety.
Okay, and where are you on that statement? 0 to 10.
Well, let's call it a 9 now.
Okay. And where is that 9 residing in your body?
My upper left quadrant in
Okay.
on my abdomen.
Okay. All right.
Spleen.
So what is holding up this, do I have the right to take care of myself first? And when I ask you that question, what comes to mind that you would be focusing on if you weren't focusing on yourself?
Uh, I I think that I was focusing on helping out with the household and the bills that accumulated while I was sick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I felt, a lot of pressure around that. Although we had very good insurance, there was steep copays. So I was just, wanting to get back into life and help out with digging out of that hole.
Okay. On the karate chop, even though
Even though
I was concerned about the money
I was concerned about the money
and I really wanted to help out with the bills.
and I really wanted to help out with the bills.
I was conflicted
I was conflicted
because I really wanted to take care of myself.
because I really wanted to take care of myself.
I deeply and profoundly accept myself,
I deeply and profoundly accept myself,
even though I wanted to help out with the bills,
even though I wanted to help out with the bills,
because I created them.
because I created them.
And here I am thinking, why should I go back to work?
Yeah, and here I am thinking, why should I go back to work?
Who am I to think of just myself?
Who am I to just think of myself?
I deeply and profoundly love and respect myself,
I deeply and profoundly love and respect myself,
even though we had a big hole of money troubles.
even though we had a big hole of money trouble.
But we had good insurance,
We had great insurance,
which was a blessing,
which was a blessing. Ooh,
a big blessing.
big. And John was very amenable to me staying home. So it wasn't, pressure from him. It was me.
It was me.
It
Who
was
am
me.
I
Who am I?
On the eyebrow, who am I?
Who am I
To think of just myself.
to think of just myself?
I've taken care of so many others.
I take care of so many others.
Who am I to think I can take care of myself now?
Who am I to think I can take care of myself now?
I have no right.
I have no right.
Others need me.
Others need me.
Others need me.
Others need me.
As a nurse
Other nurse
and as a healing practitioner,
and as a healing practitioner.
but the nurse brings in the money right now.
But the nursing would send the money right now.
And that is my conflict.
And that was my conflict. That is.
It's within me.
It's within me.
I wanted to be healthy.
I wanted to be healthy.
I wanted to remain healthy.
I wanted to remain healthy.
And I knew that going back to nursing would be very stressful.
And I knew that going back to nursing would be very stressful.
And I knew that that was not the best for me.
And I knew that that was not the best for me.
And the decision I made
And the decision I made
to stay and create new
to stay and create new
was my decision.
was my decision.
And I am much healthier
And I am much healthier
even today
even today
with that decision.
with that decision.
So the money issues have lessened.
I didn't get that, Sandy.
The money issues have lessened.
The money issues have lessened.
Doing what I chose to do.
Doing what I chose to do.
And I am healthy for that.
And I am so happy for that.
I'm healthy for that.
I'm healthy for that.
I made the right decision.
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 And that decision was for me.
And that decision was for me.
No one else.
No one else.
And my body is much healthier for that decision.
And my body is much healthier for that decision.
And I honor it.
And I honor it.
And just tap on your collarbone point. Taking a real deep breath. And release it. And when you think of the statement, do I have the right to take care of myself first? How is your 0 to 10?
It's a 0.
Okay, great.
Because something just popped into my head and said, heck yeah, you do. Excuse me.
And that's the shift. That right there is the shift. Instead of, do I have the right? Really? Probably not. To, hell yeah. So, yeah. So
I felt the shift. And people, I always yawn when I feel a shift or I cough. But I did. I felt it.
and how is your upper left side? How is the spleen area?
0.
Okay. And the emotion fear?
Gone.
Okay. So you went within a matter of 5 or 10 minutes. I wasn't watching the clock, but you went from a 9, 10 to a 0
Yeah.
around this. Do I have the right to take care of myself first?
Yes. That was a pretty quick shift. Sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's longer, but it just hit me like a thunderbolt. Heck yeah.
Well, also, I'd like everyone to recognize too, Peggy, is that there was a little bit of chipping that we needed to go through, because when we did the first round, it really, it didn't, I don't want to say it didn't move, but because you shifted from the statement, um, do I have the right to take care of myself, to um, different things that were holding that up, and that was the pressure, helping with the bills. There were steep co-pays. You know, when you think of those items that were holding that up, how do those feel right now?
Everything is zero. Everything is zero.
So
I
very
know.
calming when you think of them.
Mm,
Okay, good.
what was that
I
statement?
say everything is a calm, like a
Yes.
calm when you think of it. And that's where we
Yes.
want to get with the tapping, is that when you think of the situation, you have a calmness to it. You're not emotionally charged by it. I mean, you know, we all have uh, bills and expenses, but when we think about them, you have a choice of either being, you know, like, oh my God, I've got, you know, bills to pay, or yeah, I've got the bills that I have to pay. So there's a huge difference in that. And when you're like this, that in your body, that's what creates the um, the stress in the body, which tightens everything in your body, which doesn't allow the energy or the blood in your body to flow freely. And when you're blocking that, that's where dis-ease begins to show up in your body. It could be a headache, it could be shoulder pain, it could be lower back pain, your knees could be creaking or hurting. So that's the other advantage to doing the breath exercise that we did at the very beginning, was tuning in to your body, seeing what is going on and what it's trying to tell you. And when Peggy tuned into the spleen area of her body, what came up was the, do I really have the right to take care of myself first?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
great.
That was a very good session. Um, People might see me tapping with my hand over my heart, and that's one
Hmm.
of the techniques we use to really get this session into the energy system of the body.
Hmm.
Just kind of I don't know, what would we call it, Sandy? Kind of
Uh,
a
it integrates what the new, it integrates the new perspective,
right,
the
right,
good feeling, the calm. You're integrating that into the body's energy system, and
right,
your heart is your doorway to your body and your mind.
right,
I believe, Peggy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's heart math that has scientifically shown that that is really our first brain, and the heart speaks to this brain.
right. The Institute of Heart Math. There's a free plug, people. So look it up, Google it, and they've got all kinds of interesting information on the effectiveness of the heart um, leading the body into what it really is true for it. So
Yes, if you're
it's
really into the science of this work, definitely, definitely the
it's
Institute of
it's
Heart
it's awesome,
Math. Hmm.
awesome.
I'm actually watching right now on another little plug here, John Asseroff. He was in The Secret many years ago, and he's working with top brain scientists um, and psychologists, and really studying the brain and how our emotions are, how everything is connected. What you do, where it triggers something, and the emotions and the feelings, and it's just really interesting. I'm just getting into it, but it's um, because I'm becoming more and more interested in how the brain actually works. So
Right.
uh, it's
Yeah, that is awesome. I read
mm,
somebody said yesterday on a post, remember when we used to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, words do hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Words that other people say to you, words that you say to yourself that are negative, it all does have an effect on your well-being and on your health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Well, we're nearing the end of the show today, Peggy. Is there any thoughts that you'd like to share before we sign off?
Well, getting back to recap the fact that there's always an area of ambivalence when you finish treatment. You don't know what to do. Um, and it's sometimes a pretty tough step to take. Sandy and I are right here every Monday. All you have to do is put us a question up on our Q&A board, or ask it on Facebook, or come on the panel, and we would be happy to tap with you and try to help you resolve these questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to have conversation and just we're very relaxed. We're very laid back in a sense. So, and help you. Just know that you're supported, that there's somewhere in from the comfort of your own home. You don't even have to
Right.
go outside your home to connect with us. So, just go over to survivingthediagnosis.com and register for the reminders. We don't bombard you with a lot of emails. It's Monday morning is the reminder of the show and the link uh, to the tapping diagram. Also, there is the option to come on the panel. So be sure you click that if that's something that you would like. And if you sign up and you didn't click that and you've changed your mind, just email us at hello@survivingthediagnosis.com. And again, I'd like to thank Moira Hutchison for believing in our message. And please go to our website and click on her banner and check out what she has to offer. She's a very, very gentle soul, and I'm sure that you will most definitely enjoy her work. And again, like Peggy mentioned, we did interview her in March, and her interview is on her page at survivingthediagnosis.com/Moira, Moira. Okay, so just to leave you with our regular message is that your hopes and dreams are always within reach, and you can find peace, joy, and freedom in your life. So have a great week, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.